going on, Orlando Magic fans? Welcome to the Six-Man Show Postgame Live, presented by Rock'em. Magic lose 118-111 in a hard-fought game. A game that, honestly, the Magic should have won. Magic led by, I believe, 9 after 3 quarters, right? Going into that fourth quarter, I think they had a 9-point lead, and they lose by 7. So a 16-point swing in the fourth quarter at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves. A very difficult and frustrating loss. And we get to talk about it all tonight here on the Six-Man Show Postgame Live. This is our live postgame show after each and every Orlando Magic game. My name is Kevin. Glad you're hanging out with us tonight. I'm coming to you live from the Caribe Royale Resort here in beautiful, I guess technically this is Orlando. We had our watch party tonight at Stadium Club, which is right here at the Caribe Royale. And so I ran up here super fast as this game was winding down, and so we could get here and talk about this game. Might have some guests on the show tonight, maybe, depending on if they're feeling up for it. But some of the guys, the rest of the guys from the show were at the watch party tonight, so they might pop in here for a second. But also means I can't really get too loud or boisterous because I am in a hotel. But yeah, glad you guys are hanging out with us. This show is brought to you by Rock'em. They're the world's largest sock store, and they're located in Orlando, just down the road from Kia Center. They make some amazing, fun, and creative socks. I wish I could show you the ones I'm wearing right now, but they made us some custom Six-Man Show socks, which are pretty sick. We gave away a few tonight at the watch party. Might give away a few as well on social media this week. But yeah, big shout out to Rock'em for sponsoring the show. If you want to support the show and you want to get some really cool socks or underwear, you can go to rock'em.com and use this code MAGIC20 because it'll get you 20% off your order at rock'em.com all Orlando Magic season long. I don't know about you guys, but this one feels like a defeat that was snatched from the jaws of victory. Magic played, I thought, really well for 3 quarters, had a 9-point lead through 3 quarters, and the fourth quarter, they just completely evaporated. The things that led them to success in the first 3 quarters, especially that third quarter, they just went totally away from it in the fourth. I think on both ends, honestly. Offensively is going to be maybe the more catchy thing, like the more trendy thing to discuss, because it was really bad in the fourth quarter. Like the offense was really bad, but the defense left a lot to be desired too. So yeah, tough night in the fourth quarter for the entire team. Tough night for Franz as a whole. Franz really had a hard time tonight. Credit Minnesota for making life miserable for him. What did he end up with? I know he had 16 points, but he ended up 4 of 16 from the field. 8 of 8 from the line. So that was the redeeming stat line for Franz tonight. But 4 of 16 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Paolo not great from 3 tonight either. Tough night for, Paolo ends up with 43, so not a tough night for him. But combined, tough night for those guys shooting the basketball. But yeah, very difficult loss. We'll start here with this super chat from Shahin. Of course, now that I've moved locations and changed my setup, it's going to be messed up. Here we go. Shahin, thank you so much for that very generous super chat. Says, we wasted Caleb tonight. Why leave the hot hand on the bench? Hit the like, I guess. Well, thank you for that last part. Yeah, definitely hit the like button if you're hanging out with us tonight on this Friday night. As for Caleb, yeah, unbelievable. 6 of 8 from 3 for Caleb Houston tonight, which was really, really fun, especially at the watch party. We were going crazy for that. And then, yeah, he played at the beginning of the fourth quarter and got subbed out. Missed the whole, I would guess, middle, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. And they threw him in with, I think, just over a minute to go. Like when the game was pretty much over, mathematically speaking, they threw him in. That was a little surprising that he had the hot hand and he didn't get more minutes in the fourth quarter instead of a guy like Gary Harris or whomever. But yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, shout out to Caleb. I mean, he's the reason you're in this game. He's the reason you have that 9-point lead after 3 quarters. He was obviously terrific. All right, let's see what we got from the chat tonight. I know a lot of our normal viewers and listeners were at the watch party tonight, and so big shout out to any of you that came out to that. That was a lot of fun. Turquoise says, what a collapse in the fourth. Yeah, again, you have a 9-point lead going to the fourth, and you lose by... What do we lose by? 7. Yeah, so it's a 16-point swing. You get outscored 40-24 in that fourth quarter. That's just not good enough. You got to find out. And look, if the 9-point lead evaporates and it's a 1-possession game, that's one thing. But to just totally just blow up in the fourth quarter like that was really, really tough to watch. Really tough. Alexander says, I've never seen any team blow leads like we do. I don't know, man. It's kind of the way of the NBA these days. I'm not disagreeing. Like, I definitely think the Magic do blow a lot of leads, but we're not the only one. Like, it's just kind of the way of the NBA these days. Let's see. Joe says Franz's game is weak. I don't know. Franz's game relies so much on drives and finishes at the rim that when he comes up against a team that defends that really well, it becomes very difficult. And Minnesota, obviously, one of the best teams at that. And so, yeah, it was going to be a tough night for him always. But, yeah, really, really, really tough. I mean, did he take I know he had a couple threes, but outside of that, did he take any jumpers? It feels like he took hardly any jumpers tonight. So he was trying to get to the rim, which is admirable. That's what he's very good at. But tonight just didn't have it. Matthew says, another game where we shouldn't have won going into it, but we shouldn't have lost coming into the fourth quarter. Tough. That's a great way to put it. You know, I think Vegas favored Minnesota by like 10 or 10.5. So you're a big underdog, double-digit underdog going into this game. And yet the game is right there for the taking, right? In somewhat, not exactly similar, but the Houston game at the beginning of the week, I felt somewhat similar, not in the fact that the Magic had the game and they blew it, because they didn't. But that was a very competitive game, a game that on paper the Magic were supposed to get blown out, and it was a game that was within reach the entire night. They just could never get over the hump. They could never make it really a one-possession game. Tonight was kind of the opposite. You surprised everybody. You had a 9-point lead going into the fourth, and then fourth quarter just blew up. Couldn't get anything going offensively, and Minnesota was able to click offensively, and that was the difference. K-Duck says, sucks we lost, but they played hard and made shots, so I'm not super mad. Yeah, I think the frustrating part is you played with them for 3 quarters, right? Like, they did all those things. They played their style back. That's a playoff team, or I guess right now I think they're probably a play-in team, I think, in the Western Conference. But you were right there with them, neck and neck, had a lead, just couldn't finish the job. Couldn't finish the job. The Only Hero says, get somebody who loves you like Jamal Mosley loves Gary Harris. Here's the part that I struggle with that. On a night like tonight, who else is he going to play? Like, could Caleb have gotten some more minutes in the fourth instead of Gary? Yes. But outside of that, like, you don't have KCP. You don't have Cole Anthony. You don't have Jalen Suggs. Like, who else are you going to play? Jet Howard? I mean, if you're picking between Gary Harris and Jet Howard, at least Gary Harris is going to give you halfway decent defense most of the time, because Jet Howard is not. At least not right now. So I don't know. If we were fully healthy and he's playing Gary this much, that's one thing. But on a night like tonight, I don't know. Those guys have to get a break, and Gary's the only guy available. Theo says, Paolo was tired. 43 points, double-double, and the L. Sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Paolo hit some crazy shots tonight. Also took a lot of ill-advised threes tonight. I know he's been shooting the 3-ball well lately, but some of those, man, I really wish he hadn't taken. I know Minnesota's defense was making life pretty tough, and sometimes he had to settle for threes like that. But yeah, the last 2 minutes and really the entire fourth quarter was just not good. Not good. Chris D says, Paolo played well, and at least they aren't getting blown out. Sorry, that's all I got. Yeah, that's definitely a silver lining, because remember, just a couple weeks ago, this team was getting blown out every single night. And so at least this week, the losses were more respectable, right? It just stinks, because this could have been a really, really special win. Second night of a back-to-back on a road trip, going to Cleveland on Sunday with maybe a little bit more confidence than maybe you should have. And instead, it's a tough loss, and now you're going to Cleveland a little bit lower than you would have otherwise. Next, Napa says, Weltman loss. We would have won if we had one more guy. I guess it doesn't matter at this point. Yeah, that's a tough conversation at this point, right? There's nothing that can be done to salvage this season as far as the roster goes, and so it just kind of is what it is. But yeah, you would love to have one or two more options offensively. That's for sure. Shout out Corey Joseph, by the way. Wow, the guy has played really well this week. Even defensively, had some great plays tonight. So let's see what else. Keon says, could have used the Franz appearance tonight. Yeah. Al Humble says tonight was a great effort. again, I think through 3 quarters it was, and in the fourth quarter, this team just completely lost track of who they are and how they got there. Very tough. David Erickson says, how do we lose a game like this? No offense outside of 5. Yeah, Magic shoot 12 of 28 from 3, 42% from 3 tonight, and lose the game. Again, that has not happened very many times this year, where the Magic have shot over 40% from 3 and lost. We got a super chat. This one's from Jalen Lawson. He says, I think we are overlooking the back-to-back, impacting them late in the game. I love the effort and wish we won, but I'm not upset with the team. Boogie was gassed. That's a totally fair point. Second night of a back-to-back, and a brutal back-to-back at that. Like, New Orleans to Minnesota, what is that? Like, we talked about it when the schedule changed, and they ended up doing that to the Magic, like how brutal that was, and it's so true. And their reward for doing this back-to-back is they now have to turn around and play in Cleveland on 41 hours of rest, because it's a 1 p.m. game on Sunday. You don't even get a full 48 hours. You get 41 hours. So you fly to Cleveland tonight, or maybe they'll do it tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Let's see here. Matthew Kennison says, Magic play better with Corey Joseph starting. Surprise, when it's nice to have a real point guard. We were talking about this tonight at the watch party. Amazing how you have a real point guard who can also knock down shots. I don't think he hit a 3 tonight. Let me see. I think it was 0 of 1. Over 1, yeah. But it's amazing how you have a guy who's just a solid point guard who can occasionally knock down a 3. How much it opens things up for the rest of the team. And let's be honest, Corey Joseph, he's not exactly like a world-class point guard, right? So we're not asking for a lot. We just need a point guard. And yeah, shout out again to Corey Joseph for how he played tonight. Let's see here. Interesting. Okay. Paolo just posted something to his Instagram story, so I was curious what it was so quickly after a game. Let's see here. Jay Curve says they defended the basket well. Can't even be upset. We tried to get there, but the only one through was Paolo and Caleb. Wow. Yeah. Paolo, did his thing tonight. Was really, really good. Caleb, really, really good from deep. And that's really about it. I think those are the only guys except for Franz that were in double figures. Yep, that's right. Which, again, what do you expect? You expect Wendell Carter to score double figures? Tristan Da Silva, Corey Joseph, Goga, Gary Harris, Anthony Black, Jonathan Isaac, Jet Howard. Do you expect any of those guys to be in double figures? No, you don't. But that's the state of this roster right now. With no Jalen, no Mo, no KCP, no Cole. I mean, all 4 of those guys score in double figures. That's 4 double-digit scorers gone. It's tough times. Tough times. David Erickson said we just got outplayed. Yeah, especially in that fourth quarter. Especially. Let's see. Oliver says tough back-to-back, lost gas in the fourth. Yeah. Definitely tough. LGF says this team needs a center and a guard. 100% agree. Shahin says 4 steals too. Who had 4 steals? Caleb Houston had 4 steals? Holy smokes. I had no idea. That's crazy. 18 points and 4 steals. You know what? I'm going to give Caleb Houston his credit here. 18 points. I'm going to add it to the bottom line here. 4 steals. I didn't even notice that. There you go. Caleb's 4 steals have been added to his stat line on the bottom of the screen. Shout out, Caleb. Oh, man. David T says, when healthy, I think we are a better team. We are better than a healthy Wolves team. Fully healthy? Jalen Suggs, Mo Wagner, KCP, Cole Anthony? Yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, they've got the best player. They've got Anthony Edwards, one of the best players on planet Earth, which I thought he had a pretty quiet night. What did he end up with? He ended up with 28 points on 9 of 19 shooting, 3 of 8 from 3. Okay, it's not quiet, but it's not, he didn't go off, you know. He didn't go crazy. Julius Randle with 22 points. Yeah. Definitely a more balanced offensive output for oh no, please don't crash my computer. I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. Okay, good. Definitely more balanced offensive output from the Timberwolves than the Magic tonight. Sauce McSaucy says Caleb Houston needs more minutes. The hard part with Caleb is tonight, a special night, right? 6 of 8 from 3, 18 points. Tried to dunk on Dante DiVincenzo, which didn't work, but hey, I give him credit for trying. The problem with Caleb is there's just zero consistency there, right? Not that you expect him to go 6 of 8 every night, but more often than not, he's out there going 0 for 2, right? If he gets more minutes, is he more consistent? I don't know. He's had opportunities earlier this season when we had a ton of injuries where he played minutes. He was starting some games earlier this season and couldn't quite get it done. I'm still out on Caleb for the record. He had a great night, but I'm still out, which is disappointing. You know, I was very team Caleb, and it hasn't. I don't know if it's going to really work out. But hey, maybe this is the game that jumpstarts the rest of his career. We'll see. Oliver says offense looked much better. Side note, with the guys making shots today, I can definitely see a dangerous team underneath the hood. Paolo was a beast. He will get better at shot selection. I somewhat agree with you on that. I still think this team, when the offense is clicking, has the potential to be very difficult if they were to make the playoffs for a team. I don't think they'll win a first-round series. Oh, excuse me. But I think they could make it difficult. The problem is it's just so hard for this team to find any kind of offensive rhythm. We did see it tonight. We saw it in that third quarter. It was great. But it does require some guys getting hot from three, which is not impossible. We saw it tonight with Caleb. KCP's capable of it. Cole's capable of it. Gary's capable of it. Powell and Franz are capable of it. But we'll see. Lucis Ari says, AB got exposed tonight. He is not ready for all this pressure playing with Paolo and Franz. AB was not good tonight. That is for sure. I think kind of on both ends. However, he's not ready for all this pressure playing with Paolo and Franz. I don't know if pressure is the right word for me. I hear what you're saying, Lewis, for sure. By the way, it was good to see you tonight at the watch party. But I just talked about consistency, I know, but that's the biggest thing with Anthony Black. Like when he's consistent, when he's aggressive, I think he's good. Tonight, I think he did try to be aggressive and it didn't work. So that's a pretty uncommon thing. Again, Minnesota very good at protecting the rim, which is where Anthony Black likes to live. Just not a great night for him, which is not surprising. Not a great night for a lot of guys offensively. Greedy says, give me Luke Kennard at this point. Honestly, I'll take any shooter. Anyone who's a real shooter. Like a proven shooter. I know we just got one this summer in KCP and that has not worked out, but that has to just be some freak anomaly. Like get us some real shooters this offseason. Naz Reid. I mean, come on. Somebody, anybody. Who Josiah says, bro, huh? Gary Harris should not be playing in the clutch when TDS is available. Yeah, I don't think Gary did enough to warrant those minutes there. I really don't. A little bit surprising to see him in the crunch time. Again, I think he needed to relieve some of those guys. Obviously, I think I hear some guests. I think they're coming to the door. You can hear them a mile away in their big, loud voices. Gary has to play to relieve some of the minutes for some of the other guys, right? Because we're so shorthanded. But when you have TDS available, when you have Caleb Houston who's on a heater, and none of them are. I mean, they got in at the very, very end, but the last 4 minutes or so, one of those guys probably should have been on the floor. I think at least. Walk the Dog says, Corey had a good game. I can see how this team will perform with a decent point guard. Facts. Absolutely. Let's see. Walk the Dog says, Della has lost all confidence down the stretch. I can't count how many times he has lost the ball in the last couple of minutes. Yeah. Some players have a hard time with their hands. I know it's a weird thing to say, but Mo Bamba, another former Magic big who had a really hard time with his hands. It's not unheard of. sometimes that's just something that big men struggle with, right? And yeah, Wendell lost the ball a couple times tonight. He's done it all season. I think it's a separate conversation from the confidence thing. I do think Wendell has lost his confidence, but yeah, it's tough. He had one really good physical finish tonight, and I was like, look at that, Wendell. Embrace your frame and go up and, I don't know. It's tough. Let's see here. El Mexico says, can commenters please stop beating the dead horse? That is Weltman not doing anything at the trade deadline. We get it. It does not help it does nothing to help this convo. I somewhat agree. I definitely agree with what you're saying. It doesn't help. But every once in a while, it's probably still a good reminder to just remind ourselves, hey, remember why we're here? It's because that didn't happen, which I know we all know, but trust me, like once the season is over, we will do a big review of everything. Big review of everything and big look ahead to what this offseason could and should bring. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go check out the box score because it's interesting. Not in a good way. Oh no. What happened to my camera? Let's fix that. Let's do this right here. Boom. Here we are. We're back. Okay. Look at the Magic. We already talked about Franz, 4 of 16 from the field, but 8 of 8 from the line. Ends up with 16 points, 5 turnovers. Wow. 4 of 16 from the field and 5 turnovers. That's one of Franz's worst games of his career, if you ask me. Not great. Paolo, on the other hand, very good. 43 points, 16 of 32 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3 is not great, but 9 of 11 from the line, 10 boards, 3 assists, only 1 turnover. That's a really good Paolo game. Wendell, just 4 points. Tristan with 8, was 2 of 3 from 3, so you love to see that. Corey Joseph, I thought was really good tonight. Had a couple nice defensive plays as well. Goga only played 5.5 minutes and didn't score. Thought that was a little bit interesting. Gary Harris did have that 3-pointer in the second quarter, and I was thinking maybe Gary Harris, that's a new name. Maybe Gary Harris could knock down 2 threes and end Luke Sylvia's Twitter banishment, but that did not happen. Anthony Black, 6 points tonight, 4 boards, 2 assists, 2 of 8 from the field. J.I., like only 9 minutes. I didn't think he was terrible in the 9 minutes either, especially defensively. I mean, wasn't perfect. Got called for, I think, at least 1 foul. Where's his fouls? 2 fouls in 9 minutes. Not great, but had a couple nice defensive plays, but only plays 9 minutes. Is that just a conditioning thing that he can't handle the back-to-backs? I don't remember how many minutes he played last night, but man, got to get more than 9 minutes from him when there's Julius Randle out there and Anthony Edwards and trying to protect from lobs to Gobert. Like, that's tough. Jet Howard played 4 minutes tonight, 2 points for him. And then obviously Caleb Houston, the story off the bench, 18 points, 6 of 8 from 3. And 4 steals. Can't forget the 4 steals. Again, Magic shoot 44.9% from the field and 42.9% from 3 in a loss. That is unheard of for this team to shoot 42% from 3 and lose. That's crazy. Crazy stuff. All right. Back to the chat we go. Let's see. Matt Browning says, we wasted away that Caleb Houston game. Yeah, we really did. LYF says, I expect Wendell to not get 2 rebounds in 31 minutes. Yeah, what did he end up with? Yeah, 2 boards in 31 minutes. Not good. Not good. Soul Train says, Ja Morant and Paolo both had 40-plus tonight. Oh, no. I just lost the chat. Oh, what have I done? How did I do this? There we go. Okay. That was almost bad. All right. Ja and Paolo with 40 points tonight. Yeah. Both in losses, though, as you said. So, Paolo has been playing really well lately. Like since the All-Star break has been on one. He's been crazy. Ness says, I've noticed Franz seems to struggle most of the time against top 10 defenses. Against lesser defensive teams, he seems to pick them apart. I don't know, maybe there's something to that, but Matthew says Harris should be off the team by this offseason. 100%. 100%. There is no way Gary Harris is on this team next year, right? No way. The only hero, that's a great one, says Bismack Biyombo had the worst hands I've ever seen from a big man. 100%. That's correct. Oh, wait, I'm just realizing, how did that happen? How did the shooting percentages from the last game end up on the bottom line? Sorry about that. Those are not correct at all. Magic shot the ball well tonight. Mahiko says, how are there 112 people here and only 12 thumbs up? Sometimes YouTube is a little late on the likes, but that is true. There are still a lot of you here. And so if you're here now or you're listening to this in the future, please hit the like button. It's free for you to do. It literally, all it takes is if you're watching on your phone, one finger just to go boop on that thumbs up. Or if you're on a computer, I got the backwards. If you're on a phone, it takes one finger, boop. If you're on a computer, it takes one finger on your mouse or your trackpad and just go boop on the like button. Helps us out a lot. Helps other Magic fans find our community, which you guys are what make this community awesome. There's a few likes coming in here. Appreciate that. The only hero says, what if the Magic are starting Wendell to increase his trade value for this summer? My conspiracy theory. We'll see. We will see. Man, that's a tough loss, guys. That's tough. It was there for the taking. I did fail when I looked at the stats earlier. I did fail to look at some of the team stats. A really, really good back and forth game. 11 lead changes and 8 ties tonight. 19 combined. That's pretty stinking good. As you can see, everything was back and forth. Minnesota won the first quarter by 3. They won the second quarter by 1. Magic won the third quarter by 13. They held the Timberwolves to 16 points in that third quarter, but fourth quarter, 40-24 in favor of Minnesota. Not good. Not good at all. Points in the paint, Magic with 50. They only got 9 fast break points on the night. 32 bench points. 18 of those were Caleb Houston, so 14 from everybody else. And yeah, 11 turnovers for this team, which isn't bad, but 5 of them from Franz is bad. Not great. All right, let's check out some scores from around the league. Let me refresh these and make sure everything's up to date. I think Magic had a chance to move up tonight. I think, I should say get closer tonight to the Hawks. I think they lost. They did. So Hornets beat the Spurs 145-134. Good grief. Cavs won again. They beat the Grizzlies. Rockets destroy the Mavericks, who also, by the way, the Mavericks lost Dante Exum for the rest of the season. Like a season from Hades for the Dallas Mavericks this year. Hawks lose to the Clippers. Pacers beat the Sixers. Miami loses to Boston, so that's going to be helpful for the Magic in the standings as well. Suns, Kings, Jazz, Raptors, Nuggets, Lakers still currently in progress. And then, yes, the Orlando Magic lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves 118-111. As for the standings, Magic still a game and a half behind the Atlanta Hawks tonight. They could have whittled that gap down. They also could have whittled down the Pistons gap. Here's the thing with the Pistons gap. You were down 6 games going into this game tonight. If you win tonight, you're down 5.5. The Pistons play the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow. If they were to have lost that game, you would have been 5 games out. Now, again, I've said it many times over the last 2 months. No, it's not true. Over the last 2 weeks, especially, really. Mathematically, the 6th seed is just about cooked, right? Like, again, you were 6 games out coming into tonight. But if those 2 things were to happen and you were 5 games out of the 6th seed with, 14 games remaining, again, mathematically, such a long shot, but possible. But now 6.5 games back. Is that right? Yeah, 6.5 games back with 14 games. Those opportunities are almost gone. Almost gone. So, okay, but they are 6.5 games back of 6th. They are a game and a half back of 7th and a game up on Miami for 9th, which, again, glad they lost tonight. All right, last couple thoughts here from the chat. Let's see here. Brian G says, how things can change in a year. Yeah, facts. How things can change in a year. It's crazy. Luis Rosario says, at least Miami lost also. Absolutely. Good stuff. So, all right. Once again, shout out to everybody for coming out to the watch party tonight. It was a lot of fun. Again, Magic played really well for most of the night, and so things were going well and feeling good. And then the fourth quarter happened. Really, the second half of the fourth quarter happened, and it's all downhill from there. So yeah, that was a tough one. But hey, it's kind of how this season has gone. So Magic will be back in action Sunday in Cleveland, 1 p.m. ABC exclusive. Okay, so not on FanDuel Sports Florida, exclusively on ABC. That'll be interesting. Cleveland, the hottest team in basketball, the best team in basketball. Magic have a chance for revenge, but on the road, 1 o'clock, not a lot of rest. It's going to be tough, but hey, we'll see what's possible. Tune in afterwards to the Postgame Live, but until then, we'll see ya. Let's go Magic.